So, nachdem ich gerade den ersten Teil Probe hören wollte und der sich nicht abspielen ließ und ich aus Angst sämtliche mögliche Software abgeschossen habe, die irgendwie stören könnte, um dann festzustellen, dass es irgendwie am Codec gelegen hat und mit einem äh, Codec-Pack-Update glücklicherweise jetzt alles wieder funktioniert, geht jetzt weiter mit Part 35, The Longest Journey. Und wir müssen uns weiter Stories anhören. Und deswegen quatschen wir noch mal mit Saina. Hallo. Erzähl mal die First. Ich keine
Hi,
Ahnung mehr.
Saina.
Hi, April.
Oh, stop it. Du Bitch.
Bye-bye, Saina.
You're leaving it.
Me too,
Sich
Saina.
ab.
Believe me.
Schnauze. Ich will die Optionen. Gib mir die Optionen. Warum ist denn jetzt schon... Ich hasse das. Ich wäre noch bescheuert. Warum sind jedes Mal die Untertitel aus? Wenn ich hier raustappe. Das raff ich nicht. Return to Game. So, jetzt bitte.
Hi, Saina.
Hi, April.
Jo.
Do you know one of the four tales of winds, stars, sea, and homecoming?
Yes, my mommy taught me the tale of the stars. It's a really pretty story. Do you want me to tell it?
Nö, ich wollte dich noch
Please,
verarschen.
Saina. I would like that very
Okay.
much.
Okay,
Okay.
this is my tale, the tale of stars, and I tell it to you in my own words, as it was told to me by my teacher in her words. In the small village of Jinjay near the rumbling hills of Onion, there lived a girl called Mona. She was a curious girl, and she would always get in the way of grown elation. Go play somewhere else, they would say to Mona, but she didn't want to play with the other children. She wanted to be where the grown-ups were, to see what they were doing, and learn from them. But one day, after getting many complaints from the pottery makers and guardsmen and traders and soldiers in the village, Mona's mother told her that she wasn't to interfere with the grown-ups anymore, and that instead she could go play with the other children, or sit still and draw or work with clay. But Mona was always curious, and now, since she wasn't to be among the grown elation anymore, she decided to go exploring the forest that lay just outside of the village of Jinjay. She had many times been forbidden to enter the forest because it could be a dangerous place, but Mona was very curious. Of course, she wasn't planning on going far into the forest, but then her eye caught sight of a white flufftail hopping through the tall grass, and Mona, curious as ever, gave chase.
Ein Kaninchen?
The flufftail ran away into the forest, and Mona followed, blind to where she was going, and interested only in catching the white flufftail so that
Follow
she
the
could
white
keep it
rabbit.
as a pet. But then, after a good while, the flufftail disappeared into a hole in the ground, leaving Mona alone in a small clearing, somewhere deep inside the forest. She was exhausted after running after the flufftail for so long, and as she looked around the clearing at the unfamiliar trees and flowers, she realized that she hadn't been paying attention to where she was going. Not for the first time her curiosity had gotten the better of her, but this time it was serious. Mona was too young to fly, and she had very little sense of direction, and chasing the white flufftail had made her dizzy and tired. It was getting darker, and Mona was all alone in the deep, dangerous forest, too sleepy and too scared to be able to go anywhere. Mona curled up with her wings wrapped around her under the leaves of a tree and began crying. Soon it got really dark, and somewhere, not far away, wolves started howling at the moon. Mona was so scared she was petrified, but after a while her exhaustion got the better of her, and she fell asleep.
Mittlerweile weiß ich auch, was
She
Petrified heißt.
woke up when she heard a voice calling her from somewhere far above. Looking up at the starry sky, Mona saw a vision of the spirits of 5 tellers gazing down at her. "You have let your curiosity lead you astray," said one. "You are lost, and you deserve to be lost," said another. "Poor little girl," said a third. "We will help you home," said a fourth. "But remember this," said the 5th spirit. "We will lead you back to your village and to your mother only if you promise us one thing." "I promise,"
fuck
said
around
Mona.
with the elders.
"Whatever it is, I promise I will do it." "Very well," said the 1st spirit. "You will make the story of this night into your own tale, and you will call it the Tale of Stars." It will be a tale to warn the curious to be careful, continued the third spirit, and to not let their curiosity get the better of them. And, said the second spirit, to remind the elation that the spirits of their tellers watch out for them when they most need it. And so the spirits of the 5 tellers guided Mona through the forest, and by dawn she was home. And Mona did tell her tale, the tale of stars, to everyone in the village, so that everyone would remember that the curious must be cautious, and that the spirits of the tellers are always watching. This was my tale, the tale of stars, and I told it in my own words as my teacher did to me.
That was a beautiful tale, Saina.
Thank you.
Mir besser gefallen als die
Bye-bye,
andere.
Saina.
Goodbye.
Bye. Gut, dann auf zum nächsten. Zu dem alten Kribbel da an der Tür. Hallo. Alter Mann,
Do you know one of
spuck's
the
aus.
4 tales of winds, stars, sea, and homecoming?
Du bist C.
Mine is the
Ja.
tale of sea.
Would you
Gut,
mind telling it to
50-50
me?
Chance, aber...
I would be happy to do so. This is the tale of sea, told in my own words, as it was told to me by my teacher in his words, and to him by his teacher in his words.
And to him by his teacher in
This
his
was
way.
a very, very long time ago, when the elation were a strong people, and we could spend days riding the hot winds above the seas. We hunted fish then, and we were at war with the Merum, the Wet-tails. Acalis was one of the strongest warriors there was. His claws were sharp and long, his beak pointy, and his teeth strong. Acalis was admired by everyone in his clan, and because of this he was cocky and arrogant. So one day, the teller of Acalis city asked him to perform a very important and very special duty, to bring a sacred jewel to the teller of an elation town across the sea. This particular jewel was very important because it signified a union between the 2 towns, and it would benefit the people of both that it was delivered safely and promptly. Acalis grinned and told the teller that he would deliver the jewel both quickly and safely, and that she was not to worry. But the teller did worry, because Acalis was young and too sure of himself. But she wanted to test him, and to teach him that sharp claws, a pointy beak, and strong teeth are not all a warrior needs, that a warrior must also be wise and careful.
And cunning.
So Acalis set out across the sea on his flight. It was on the 4th day that he spotted something in the water that caught his attention, and forgetting his duty and following his curiosity, Acalis dived towards the water to investigate. When he came closer, he saw that there were Merum in the water, foolishly hunting close to the surface, and Acalis saw an opportunity to again prove his might as a great warrior to his people, and to capture the fins of a few Wet-tails. But this time, Acalis' arrogance got the better of him, because the Merum had set a trap.
It's a trap.
As he dived towards the Merum with his claws, a spear shot up from the water to hit him. Acalis struck the water and dropped the jewel he was carrying, and it was all he could do not to drown. Acalis was bleeding, and the Merum were grabbing onto his wings and his legs, but he fought bravely, and finally he managed to escape. But even though he now lived, he was dead inside, because the shame of losing the sacred jewel would always be with him.
Aber wenn es nur ein Test war, ist doch
Acalis could
fake.
not return to his village, because he had neglected his duty to his teller and to his people. And so he went away to a small island where he could be alone. To himself and his people, Acalis now became the lost one. He who had been on a sacred mission, but had failed in his arrogance. A year passed, and one day Achalas met with human traders from a ship that came close to his island. From the traders, Achalas heard speak of a hideous creature that lived in the sea, the Octowoe. The Octowoe was said to have a third eye, like a jewel, and that this eye pulled hapless sailors into its deadly 8-armed grasp. Achalas knew immediately that the Octowoe's third eye had to be the jewel that he lost in the sea a year ago, and he now saw the opportunity to redeem himself. But Elation were not used to water, and the thought of submerging himself in the cold, harsh ocean chilled Achalas to his heart. But he was the lost one, and if in his death he could at the very least redeem himself, to his own heart then it would be worth it. So Achalas fashioned himself a spear, because in the water his claws and his beak would be too slow, and he flew out to where the Octowoe was last seen. And then Achalas dived into the sea. The dark water closed in on him, and his wings and legs went numb. But still Achalas kept pushing down until he saw the lair of the Octowoe. Spotting Achalas, the Octowoe attacked, and Achalas saw the monster's third eye, his sacred jewel, shining bright in the darkness. And his heart was filled with a sense of duty and courage that he had never felt before. But as he began fighting the 8-armed monster, Achalas realized that if he were to fight like he usually did, he would not stand a chance. He would have to think differently. And so Achalas tricked the Octowoe into following him through a tight chasm where the monster got stuck. And then he swam above it, and using his spear, tipped a rock on top of the Octowoe. Swimming back down again, the Octowoe was flailing helplessly. Now, almost out of air, Achalas took the sacred jewel from the Octowoe's head and swam back up. Finally, Achalas could deliver the sacred jewel to the town across the sea, and upon returning to his village, he went to the teller, bowed his head, and said, "Forgive me, teller, for in my arrogance I thought I could do everything. But I could not, and I became the lost one because of it." "You were lost," said the teller, "but you are no more. Because now you see the limits of your own strength, and you will know that a warrior must be careful and wise, in addition to being strong and fierce." This was the tale of sea.
Wenn jede Geschichte so 5, 6, 7 Minuten geht, was will der mich dann am Ende davon fragen? Wenn es nicht gerade die Moral von der Geschichte ist, sondern irgendwelche Einzelheiten. Autsch. Das könnte gefährlich werden. Na gut. Nächste.
Do you know one of the 4 tales of winds, stars, sea,
Gut, Winds
and
ist bei ihm
homecoming?
auch relativ eindeutig, oder?
Mine is the tale of winds, Windbringer. Do you wish to hear it?
Very much.
Then I shall tell it. This is the tale of winds, my tale, and I pledge to tell it in my own words, as told in turn by my teacher. In the village of Karan, in the mountains of tall winds, there lived a young Elation woman named Iwana. Iwana had one desire above all others, to soar higher and farther than anyone else. And even though her wings were no broader, nor her body sleeker than anyone else's, she pursued this foolish desire without rest. And as time passed, she did soar higher, and she did fly farther than the other young Elation in her village, and her name became known far and wide amongst the tribes of the mountains of tall winds. But still, Iwana was not happy. She was not happy because, in her vanity, even though she was a better flyer than almost everyone else, and to her eyes, she was still not good enough. She wanted to be so much better than anyone else that she would be remembered for all time as the best flyer amongst all the elation. And so one day, Iwana decided to climb to the top of Mount Bakta'ana, the Tower of Light, and to soar from those giddy heights to the ends of the world. Her friends and her family pleaded with her not to, because every elation knew that to soar from such heights was dangerous, that at such heights the air was thin and the winds treacherous. But Iwana would not listen, and on a cold and clear morning she climbed up the Tower of Light to the rock and the ice at the very top. From there she could see to the ends of the world. And it brought tears to her eyes to know that now, finally, she would be greater and better than any elation before her. And so Iwana spread her wings and leaped off the mountain. Those who watched her from far below said that for a split moment Iwana soared, and she soared higher and farther than any elation before or since. But then the treacherous winds caught a hold of her, and the thin air made her plummet towards the ground, and to fall to her death amongst the rocks at the base of the mountain. In her vanity, Iwana could not see beyond her desire to be the very best. And vanity always stands to fall. That was the tale of winds,
sehr kurz.
my tale, and I told it in my own words, as told to me in turn by my teacher.
Okay. Sind wir jetzt durch? Dann erzähl mal deine Fragen. Bin mal gespannt, ob ich das noch zusammenkriege jetzt hier.
Are you ready for the questions now?
Jo.
Yes, ask me the questions.
In the Tale of Winds, which mountain did Iwana
Bakta'ana
fall
oder
from
so.
in her vain attempt to fly higher and further than anyone else?
Ja, super.
Mount Bakta'ana, the Tower of Light.
That is correct. In the Tale of Stars, what did Mona see in the sky
5 Tellers.
that helped her find her way home?
Airplane?
The spirits of 5 tellers.
That is correct.
Gut, das hätte man auch.
In the Tale of Sea, what creature did the Lost One battle in his quest to recover the sacred jewel?
Gut, das hätte man eventuell nicht raus wissen können, ohne die
The Octowl?
That is
die
correct.
Story.
My final question to you is this. In the Tale of Homecoming,
Und hier der
what
Pot.
was given to
Der Broken
Moran
Pot.
by his teller when he returned from his pilgrimage?
A Kiss. Ja, das hätten wir auch nicht unbedingt wissen können.
A broken pot, to teach him that absence may break a heart in two.
You have correctly answered all my questions, and so have proven your knowledge of the 4 tales. You are the Windbringer. The teller would see you presently.
Yay, noch mehr Stories. Rinder, Mirinda. Was hast denn du? Bist du ein Punk? Punk-Teller. Ne? Schade. Ja, dann erzähl mal. Halt, stopp. Nein, nein, nein. Ja, Feuer. Erst angucken.
She's the teller. She must be over 100 years old.
Na gut.
Come closer, human.
Ich wollte doch grad.
Closer. I cannot see your face. Closer still. Come sit here by me.
Stich mir ein Auge aus.
There you are. You see, my eyes are not what they used to be. Ages ago, I could spot a ladybug crawling up a straw of grass from 15 tree lengths up. Now, I have a hard time seeing my supper.
Okay.
But my ears, balance be praised, my ears, they are as good as ever. I could hear you outside, learning the tales my children tell. You are a good listener and a fast learner.
They were interesting stories, and your people told them well.
That is what we do. The elation are the keepers of the tales, and I am their teller, the one who must know all the tales told since the day we came to this world.
Du musst ja auch wissen, wo die Meerrim herkommen.
How can you do that? How can you remember every story ever told?
The secret
Ich
is
hab
to
den
tell
Zettel.
them often and to tell them in your own words, not the words of your ancestors.
Doesn't that mean that the stories change with every generation?
Yes, as all tales must. Change is important. Otherwise, the tales will have no meaning to us. They will just be words, and we do not care about the words. We care about what the words tell us.
Oh, klingt
How long have your
plausibel.
people been telling stories?
Since the beginning, human. Since we came to this world a long, long time ago.
You're not from Earth? From Arcadia?
Not according to our tales. We came on a great wind before the divide, when the earth was one and humans had yet to learn of magic and science. But we were a different people then, and the tales we tell from that time are vague and incomplete. Like myths and legends, the younger elation pay little attention to these tales. Sometimes I worry they will be lost with me, these tales, and I am getting old, very old.
I came to you to find answers to some important questions.
Ask, and I will try my best to answer.
Ja, okay.
Have you heard of an ancient god or dragon that lives beneath the sea?
Once, long ago, when my people lived in harmony with the Merim,
Oh,
there were
sie weiß
stories
das.
of an old god worshipped by the Merim who resided deep in the darkest depths of the ocean. According to legend, the old god had once brought the Merim into their realm, into the ocean, and he was now sleeping, resting before the journey back
The Great Cthulhu.
Back where?
to a great ocean amongst the stars. When the time came, he would gather the Merim and bring them home with him, back to their world, to their ocean. Strangely enough, we have a similar tale. It is said that the great wind that brought us here will someday return to bring us back to a place where we can soar forever on warm winds.
Like heaven.
In a way, perhaps, but without the need for any of us to die. The great wind will just sweep us up and carry us away. Every evening before I go to sleep, I recite this tale to myself. It is a comforting one.
What do you know about the Dryad kin?
Kin are numbered 4, or so our tales tell. 2 in this world, 2 in the other. The mirror world, the white and the blue, the red and the green.
Do you know where they are?
Hat's er gerade gesagt.
The tales never say. The kin are elusive. They keep to themselves. I have never seen one myself, and I doubt any of my kind has. The tales do say that our past and our future are tied to the fate of the kin, but how I would not pretend to know. This is one tale that is yet to be told.
Do you know anything about the Guardian's realm?
This is human business. Would you not know more than I?
Your people are the keepers of the tales. You remember more than humankind has forgotten. Please, I need to hear what you know.
That is very little. The Guardian's realm is home to the Guardian in his tower. No one is permitted within except the Guardian who was, the Guardian who is, and the Guardian who will be. And of course the Dryad kin, who were instrumental in its making.
Have you ever heard of the existence of a hidden entrance to his realm?
Oh, yes. Yes, I have heard tell of such a thing, though I would not know where it is. I gather that one of the kin may be able to tell you.
Thank you. I don't have any more questions.
But I'm the
I am
Windbringer.
glad I could help you with some answers.
I'm the Windbringer.
I know you are. It's strange to me to hear those words spoken. I did not think they would be in my lifetime. But here you are, standing in front of me as real as the sky is blue.
I'm sorry I have to ask, but what is it that the Windbringer is supposed to do for you?
I did not expect you to walk in here and have all the answers, child. The balance has both blessed you and cursed you, and it has sent you here to do what it wills. The Windbringer is said to be the first sign of the great wind that will take us away from here. For a long time, the Elation have lost the strength they used to have. Our bones have become weak, and our wings fragile. Where we used to be able to soar for days on strong winds, we are now using our legs to walk rather than fly. Why this is, we do not know.
Wegen dem
Tan
Tanyan.
Yen.
Genau das.
You know of the reason for this?
I'm just guessing, but it makes sense. Go on.
The tales also say that the Windbringer will unite us with our past and end the age-old strife.
I know. You must make peace and be reunited with the Merim. You share a common ancestry.
I have always thought we did. The tales were too similar, the signs clear. But my people, they will have a difficult time understanding why and how this can be.
If you don't, both the Elation and the Merim will die out. When war broke out between your people and you were forced to move up into the mountains, it compromised a precarious symbiosis. A substance called Tan Yen was abundant where the Merim and the Elation lived in close proximity. It brought fish and heat and light to both your people. But now, living up in the mountains, your way of life, your diet, your customs and habits, they've all changed. And that's probably the cause of your brittle bones and fragile wings.
Then we must make peace with the Merim and restore the balance between us, so as to strengthen us both and prepare us for the journey that will surely come soon. When our sitting is over, I will speak to my people, and I will elect one representative from the Elation to meet with the Merim in the place of your choosing to open a dialogue.
I guess it's time for you to talk to your people and for me to make arrangements with the Merim.
Where do you wish for our meeting to take place, Windbringer?
You want me to decide? Well, I know. Send
Yeah.
your ambassador down to the ancient caves by the beach. Inside, there are remnants of an old Elation settlement and a Merim city. It's a good place for your two people to meet, don't you think?
Yes. And could you ask if they would bring their half of the stone?
The stone? You have the other half?
We have held onto it for centuries, knowing that someday it would be of use to the Windbringer.
It will, trust me.
And we must make haste and arrangements. It is an important day, so let us not waste light. Go and wait for my ambassador in the caves.
Coolio. Fade out. Wo geht's hin?
It's amazing. This place is so beautiful. And the scent of sea and rock and nest.
Ist das
This
hier
scent is
Imas?
a home.
Oder wie er hieß?
This was home a long, long time ago, according to the tales. We lived in peace with the Wet-tail, with the Merim back then.
Now you'll be able to live in peace again. And with the Tan Yen bringing fish to your doorstep, you'll be able to eat well and restore strength to your bones. Soon you might even be able to soar on the winds for days like you used to do.
I hope you are right, Windbringer. And I hope that the Merim will see the sense in it too. They are coming, are they not?
They said they would. Hush, I hear something.
Muss das jetzt noch sein? Oh, da kommt tatsächlich jemand.
We are here, Water Stiller, as was promised.
Good. Now, as representatives of your respective peoples, you, the Queen of Amiram City, and you, guard to the Elation Teller, must fulfill
ist
the
da recht,
prophecy
okay.
and join the two parts of the one stone.
We hope that our peoples may be joined again, Elation, and that we may live in peace and prosper.
As do we, Merim. And we pledge to do all we can for this to happen.
Hui, mein Video. I.
The stone is now whole, Windbringer, and the elation and the Mirum will once again be as one. You may take it with you.
Thank you. The both of you.
Come now, April, and we will take you to our sleeping god. May his wisdom guide you and lead you down the right path.
Noch mehr. Das Zepter ist weg. The Great Cthulhu. Ne, Large Rock. Okay, auch wenn die Musik gerade sehr geil war, müssen wir mal ins Diary gucken. Ja, also das ja. Saturday, late afternoon. The Miriam and Elation are well on the road to forging a lasting union, and I hope this will bring prosperity to them both. They've suffered enough as it is, and I'm happy I had a chance to help them to help them come to terms with their past and to face the future together. Okay, April is getting a little sentimental here, but who can blame me? I worked hard to get them talking, damn it, so I deserve a little credit. At any rate, the journey continues, this time into the lair of the Merrim's sleeping god. Unfortunately, the Elation weren't able to tell me as much as I would have liked, but at least I have another stone now. That makes two, and I'm pretty certain this god, this Drake kin, will be able to help me out with some definite answers. I deserve that, too. Jo. Dann müssten wir jetzt... Ja, Elation Stone.
It's the second half of the piece of the stone disc entrusted to the Elation and the Merim a long time ago.
Ach, jetzt ist der Titel vorbei. Ach, so eine Scheiße. Ich hatte gerade gehofft, das mir jetzt nochmal anhören zu können. Ach, schade. Habe ich's verpasst. Na gut, an dieser Stelle endet auch dieser Part. Und wir sehen uns dann beim nächsten Mal. Allerdings nicht sofort. Das dauert jetzt wieder ein paar Tage oder so. Also, danke fürs Zuschauen. Bis dahin. Ciao.